The 15-Point Plan is part of the Win, Make, Give podcast network.
Welcome to another episode of the 15-Point Plan podcast. My name is Ryan Greigg, and as always, I am joined by my amazing co-host, Jacqueline Smith. And today I am super excited because not only am I joined by my amazing co-host, Jacqueline Smith, we are here with her partner in crime, with her husband and one of my favorite dudes out there, Phil Smith. Phil, say hello to the 15-Point Plan show.
Hey, everybody.
Remember, the 15-Point Plan is a podcast. It's a system. It's all about increasing energy, reducing stress through the types of points like movement, nutrition, hobbies, hydration, in a way to keep our energy high and our stress low. The reason we're bringing Phil on today is a couple things, actually. Every time I see Phil, which I got to see him recently at the Metrics Mastermind, the guy's got a big smile on his face. When I see Phil, simply by seeing Phil, I get a little less stress. But another reason, and then I'll tell you the main reason we're bringing Phil on today, another reason I wanted to interview Phil was because I wanted to actually tell Phil and Jacqueline that when I think of people and I think of relationships, you two come into my mind frequently as a relationship that I look up to, as a relationship that I see as an example of what great relationships can be in so many buckets. Phil, I get to spend some time with Jacqueline weekly, and she's become a pilot. She's become like a ambassador of health and wellness with the 15-Point Plan. She runs an amazing business, and she's with a guy like you that does so many of these cool things as well. You run an amazing business. You guys are amazing parents. You guys love each other. You go for walks together. You do like all the things that when I think of what a good relationship looks like, I see you all doing that. And I just wanted to tell you from my heart, I am inspired by your relationship. So thank you for being an inspiration to me in the relationship category as well.
Yeah, thank you.
It's all Phil. He's like my better half, I always say.
That's not true.
Well,
they meet Phil.
Everybody should meet Phil, and that's why I want to have him on this podcast so that everybody could get a little glimpse into Phil's life, and they're probably going to want to know more about him, but he doesn't do this stuff often. So I don't take this lightly, Phil. And I thank you for spending some time with us.
Absolutely.
The other reason, and perhaps main reason why we wanted you to come onto the podcast today, was because as far as the movement category goes in the 15-Point Plan, you just completed a very significant milestone. And we wanted to hear how that went. Tell our podcast listeners what you just completed out in Chicago.
Well, I just finished my first marathon, the 26.2 miles. I started out in Chicago. Before that, I was not a runner before this year. So turned 50 this year and decided that I wanted to have another harder goal again, something to push towards, and decided that was going to be what it was.
So you set this goal of turning 50 and running the marathon. And I don't think you did the marathon alone, did you?
No, I got to do it with my son. He just turned 27. So, I'm really big on family, like we talk about parenting and stuff, but running this with my son was one of my favorite things I've got to do in a long time. So
yeah.
Pretty cool.
So I don't remember the exact stat, Phil, but I think it's about 1%, if not less, of the population does something like run a marathon.
Yeah, I think it's like 0.01%.
Yeah, I looked it up. It's like 0.01 to 0.02.
Yeah. So even less going to do it with one of their kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love how you said, and Jacqueline has said this statement before, but I might challenge it now. I wasn't a runner. Yeah. And Jacqueline has said that, she's sprinting laps around a track and she's going for a run. Do you consider yourself a runner now?
Yeah, I do. I consider myself a runner now. I actually really enjoy running. So don't enjoy necessarily the long runs, but I do enjoy the runs.
So you went from like not being a runner to setting this goal, and not just like, I'm going to go run a 5K. I'm not going to run a couple miles, but I'm going to go run 26.2 miles. I'm going to run a marathon. And like, I've heard the Chicago Marathon, it's like not even that easy to get into, right? Like you have to like actually sign up and get into this whole process and actually go from the West Coast to Chicago. What was that journey like? Like, what was the thought process like the week leading up to that, Phil? Were you scared? Were you excited? Like, tell me what that was.
Yeah, there's a lot of anxiety going into that. Definitely. The training process alone, the whole training process through there is full of so many ups and downs. Like got this goal and you picture yourself, not being a runner, I came into it saying, oh, maybe I'll try to qualify for Boston, which is like 3 hours and 25 minutes, but I hadn't even ran a mile yet. So I get out for my first few runs and quickly decide, yeah, that's not very realistic. Like I'm going to run this and try to finish. And before long, I found that I was running was something I enjoyed, and I started picking up the pace and getting pretty good times. And then injuries started happening, and you start picturing yourself pretty easily being able to obtain maybe a 4 hour. And I start going along and start pulling hamstrings, calf muscles, Achilles, like one thing after another, and just having to fight through those things and keep having that endurance and perseverance to be able to push yourself through those hard moments was incredible. So, seeing what your body's really capable of, a lot of times I think we limit in our mind what our body can do. And when you just let your body do what it can do, it really can surprise you and outperform what your expectations can be for things. And I was able to come back from, I pulled my hamstring so bad, the back of my whole leg was black and blue all the way from the back of my hamstring all the way to the back of my calf. And I was running in 2 weeks after doing that. And then, I strained my ankle pretty bad going into right before the race. And so running the race, I ran the whole thing with a pretty severely sprained right ankle.
Oh.
That slowed me down quite a bit. But you get running and you have these things you want to do and you have this goal and you don't want to give up on it. And, having my son there, he also was having some pretty difficult times through this run, and we get going through it and we're both able to just keep pushing each other along and being that positive affirmation to each other and just keep lifting each other up as we're going through it. And just a real special moment being able to do that out there. So
was there any doubt in your mind, either leading up to it or the day of, that you would not complete this?
No, I knew I was going to get through no matter how long it took. I was going to finish it. So
There was this one time, like years ago, when Phil and I were still like dating long distance, and there were like floods happening everywhere, and like highways were closed. And he was like, I am getting back to my kids, because he had come up to Canada to visit me. And so, like, when Phil sets his mind to something, he will do it. He won't not do it.
Yeah. It was when they shut all I-5 down in Centralia and it flooded all of Centralia. And I just kept driving till I found it. It took me, probably 8 hours to figure a path, but I found this semi-truck driver who started driving through it, and I got in right behind him close and followed him right through the wake.
And Jacqueline, from what I've learned from you, you have a similar mentality, like in business and in your fitness and health and wellness. And I think that's what sets y'all apart as like high performers or top achievers. And in this world of like, look, I have this goal, I'm going to do this, and nothing is going to get in my way. Phil, was there a reason other than turning 50? Was there any like deeper reasons? Did anything happen in your past? Was there a reason for the marathon, the number, Chicago, anything deeper than turning 50?
Well, I come from a family who's, I've lost 3 of my sisters, both my parents, to severe illnesses, cancer mostly. And having that health thing in my family's life has made me want to make sure I try to do what I can to stay healthy for my family. And last year I had some pretty significant health scares where they, thought I might have cancer. It ended up not being, but I had some surgeries that kind of took me out of that and gave me some scares. And we ended up going to watch Melinda run the marathon in New York, a friend of ours in New York last November. And when we were there, I got so caught up in that excitement of everything there in the city of New York, just being alive with the marathon. And I was like, man, I'm going to run a marathon. I'm going to do this. This is going to be my health challenge that's going to make sure I have something to focus on and aim and hit. And so I got home and started training, and here we are.
You got another one on the books yet?
I was looking at them again today, trying to see what ones I'm still eligible to sign up for. Jacqueline wants me to take a year to finish building our house, but I think I'm going to sneak one in anyway. So I want to try to hit all the majors.
Is that you think that'll become a goal of yours, starting to check off some of the majors?
Yeah, it is going to be. Yeah, I think so. Depending on how well my ankle performs.
Yeah, right. I have a question for you, but first, we had our partner Jason Baker on the podcast, and Jason's son was on there, and he spoke a little bit, and he talked to Jason was fueled by his son. Like, how cool was it that you just shared that health story, and one of the reasons deeper as to why you did this, you're showing your family, your children, hey, when something comes up, I'm going to get through this. And actually, not only am I going to get through this, I'm grabbing Jacqueline's hand on one side, boys, I'm grabbing your hand on the other side, and we are doing this together.
Yeah, absolutely. It's super important for me. For my dad, he was diagnosed, he was given 3 months to live when I was in the third grade, and continued to keep beating. Stayed sick most of my life. Grew up in hospitals with him. Multiple heart attacks and cancer with removing kidneys, kidney transplants, on and on. But I watched him never stop fighting. he was a dad who was always an example of being there for everybody no matter what, and then always fighting. He never gave up, always pushed through, always was able to pull it together for other people. People wouldn't even know he was sick some days, and they'd leave and he'd start throwing up. He was a pastor, and he just poured into other people's life this whole time. And I watched him never quit on us. So that was always really important for me growing up. I wanted to make sure for my kids, I never quit on them. So they'd see me fight and see that example for their life, that they would know this is something they can do. This is something they can accomplish. When they put their mind to something, nothing can stop you but yourself. So, yeah.
I'm taking a moment to let that sink into our listeners, Phil, because like you said, when you put your mind to something and you got the right why, nothing can stop you. I want our listeners to hear that again, just like you did. You went from, quote, not being a runner, to now you're going to go check off some major marathons. You went out and knocked out 26.2 miles. Nothing can stop us when we put our mind to it, and we got the reason. And you were inspired by your father, and now you, my friend, are that inspiration to our listeners, to your partner Jacqueline, to me, and to your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the reasons why, like you said, that I have that, I actually don't know if I do, on my own. And I think Phil is a really big strength to me. And I don't know what I could do without him. I was surviving without him before him, but I wasn't thriving. And he has taught me so much about mindset and perseverance, and just my favorite quote that I always share with everyone and give him credit is, I'd rather be optimistic and be wrong than be negative and be right. And so he just has that attitude always, whether it's with people, a lot of us can be pessimistic against, people's motives and things like that. He's like, I'd rather assume the best of people and be wrong than assume the worst and be right. If it's, can I do something? Can I achieve something? He's like, I'd rather assume I can than assume I can't, and that's, he has taught me that. And he reminds me of that all the time. Whenever I have weak moments. So you're awesome.
I have 2 questions left, but I know we're running short on time. My first question was, for somebody that's never done this, what would your advice be to them? But I think you already answered it in the fact that set the goal and know that it's possible. Is there anything else you might add to that, though, quick, Phil? But I have one question that I want to spend some time on. So anything else you might add for advice for somebody that's never done this?
Yeah. Get a plan, stick to the plan, believe in the plan, and just follow it. Even when it's hard, just keep on the plan. Without that plan, I mean, you're just kind of like walking without a map. You're going to get lost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So get a plan, make the goal, and know it's possible. Here's my last question for you, Phil. I've been doing this podcast with Jacqueline for a couple of years now. She is like an ambassador of health and wellness. She is the ambassador for the 15-point plan. And many times on this podcast, your name has come up because you've been there with her. What have you learned about Jacqueline and seen about Jacqueline that inspires you throughout her journey on this 15-point plan?
Well, Jacqueline, she gives me a lot of credit for getting her to where she's at. But Jacqueline is a force on her own. She's somebody who, when she sets her mind to something, it's getting done. Like, and everybody get out of the way because it's getting done. So just having that ability to be able to know who she is and be comfortable with who she is. She has an ability to say things to people and cut through and help people in their coaching that if I said it, they'd probably get mad and maybe want to take a swing at me. She says it and they thank her, like she's got this ability to be able to just reach people a certain way. And it's been a pleasure and an honor to be able to be on her side and be able to be part of a union together where we're able to, set our goals, go after our goals and accomplish them together. Just like I got to cross that finish line with my son in the thing, every day I get to cross that finish line with Jacqueline.
Jacqueline, in the place world, we've come up with this saying, like 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2. 1 + 1 = 3. And when I look at you two, that's what I think. Like 1 + 1, y'all are badass on your own. But when you bring two people like you together, it's this multiplication effect. And so, Phil, I want to congratulate you for knocking out this marathon. I'm excited to see what's next.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for taking some time to talk with us today. Jacqueline, thanks for pulling his arm over here and talking with us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Phil, for being an inspiration to us men that are getting into an age like 50. Like I always thought when I turned 50, I want to run a marathon, and you've done that. So you have inspired me, my friend. You are a runner now. Like you can't change that, right?
Yep.
And
you're on one with me.
I will. Deal, brother. Deal. Any final words, Jacqueline? Any last question? Final words? I know y'all got to run. So any final words for our listeners?
I just want to say how proud I am of my hubby and of my son, Abe. So if you're listening, super proud of you guys. It was so awesome to watch, not just the day of, but all the work that went into it beforehand. Because that's the real marathon, they say, right? And the race is just a celebration of all the work that you put in before that. So I think that's kind of like business too, right? Mm-hmm. Like you can transfer that in so many different areas of life, and it's what you do, behind the scenes when no one's looking, that get you the opportunities to earn the medals and earn the awards, and even in health, like to maybe look a certain way or be able to do certain things. It's all because of the stuff that you do behind the scenes when no one's watching. So, yeah. Good. Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan.
Right. That's right. Thank you, Phil, for joining us. Thank you, Jacqueline, as always, for being my co-host on the show. Don't forget, listeners, you can check all past episodes at withguest.com. You can find Jacqueline and myself on social media, Jacqueline Ray Smith and Ryan Park Greigg. We'll see y'all next time. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.